Hi, welcome to another YouTube video. My name is Marlene, and today's video I wanted to share with you 4 traps that you might go through when you first have your spiritual awakening, or if you are experiencing what is called the dark night of the soul. These 4 traps or challenges that we experience when we're going through a spiritual awakening are usually something we don't understand when we're going through it, because we don't know when the situation, we've never been through it. We're very new to the spiritual world. And I'm gonna talk about my experience as well, but first of all, one of those things will be a lot of people, when they first have a spiritual awakening, they feel like now they have all the information that is out there. Now they know everything. Now they feel like they're walking as God, and they can create their whole reality, and they can, but it's based more on a spiritual ego. And this is a term that it's a little bit hard to define, in the sense that depends on each person, but a spiritual ego is basically you feel superior to other people. Like, you feel like because you know it all, because you have all this information, that you can now coach other people in the process. You can coach others in their spiritual awakening. And a lot of the times, again, this is just based on them feeling like a god. Like, they want us to, or they want to be seen as like the Messiah, right? So they want to create this events where people go and just want them to honor them, idolize them, almost like a celebrity in a way. And this is very dangerous, because not only are they leading people to false light, they're leading people towards a place where they're not gonna find the enlightenment that they're looking for, but they're just digging a hole for themselves and other people. And with that, there's also the trap of when you feel like, because you know everything of the spiritual world, and you understand the laws, energy, things of that matter, dimensions, you start to not want to treat normal people as equals, like you feel sorry for them. You give out this energy of nobody, like you want to protect so much your energy, your field, that in a sense it's like you don't even let a normal, not woke person like even say hi to you, like something that you just want to be by yourself way too much, in the sense that you forget that like we are humans. We are all gonna go through a process individually, have our own journey, like only God can wake up a person, even if you try to enlighten other people, or if you feel like it's not your job, it's God's plans to do with that person's soul, with that person's life, to know the place and time, right, that they're gonna awaken. So pretty much it's like, don't feel like you have to stop relating to other normal people because now you're spiritual, like I still have a very let's say approach, like I have a very normal approach to people, you know, like I don't, even when I see them in the spiritual, I still treat them, you know, with respect, with kindness. And it's not about me feeling superior just because I know about the spiritual world. And the third point will be when you are losing your virtues, your good habits, you stop doing again like normal things that you used to do because you might be feeling like you have no purpose in life. Like, for example, you might go through a stage where you just want to be inside all the time, you know, because you're introspecting, things of that matter. Usually this happens during the dark night of the soul. So I'm talking for experience, where you don't have like a routine, you know, like you don't shower, you don't go out to get sunlight, exercise, because you feel depleted, because you feel you might even have depression, you know. But that's when you should put more effort into keeping those habits, those virtues of being a healthy person, of embodying self-compassion for yourself, you know. And this is all a learning process, so you can stay on that stage for years, for months, but eventually when you start get the hang of it, if you do come out of the dark night of the soul, it's less time that you spent there, and you realize the importance of treating your body with respect, keeping it clean, keeping those routines, again, keeping those virtues, you know, like having being patient with yourself, with others, and having self-compassion for what you're going through, you know. Like nobody will ever understand the depths of our pain, of our suffering better than us, right? So it's only our journey to understand how long it's gonna take us, like for us to recover, or for at least make some progress. And on the way, you don't want to be harsh on yourself. You want to have some compassion and treat yourself as your own therapist, you know. Like, you know yourself better. If you're not eating right, if you're not eating right, like start there, you know, and then later on build from that. And from the fourth point will be what I call it, spiritual schizophrenia, or like the false light. So basically it's about when you find about all this esoteric knowledge, right? You find about, let's say, astrology or tarot readings or the chakras, auras, all these esoteric teachings that you're pretty much either just using them for yourself, but you never apply them to your life, right? Like you're just learning and learning and learning, but you never get out to practice them, to experience them, to see, you know, if they're real or not. You just accumulate all this knowledge, you know. It's like loading a computer with a bunch of programs, and you're not gonna ever use that computer. Like, there's no point in that. There's this false light also about learning something so much about a subject. Let's say you go into tarot cards and all you do is just watch videos after videos confirming you about the same topic. Like, is my partner coming back? Should I switch to a different job? Things of that matter. And you just go and watch videos for hours. And all this does is, not only are you wasting your time, but again, it's keeping you in that of a learning stage where you never apply what you're being told to. And it can get so so deep, so into a false lie, where when you try to come out of it, you even start feeling anxiety because you're like, oh my god, like I don't know what to do today, let me check on the cards, right? Or let me check the horoscope. Like, you realize so much in it that you no longer act like out of, like, you know, like confidence, like self-confidence. You rely so much on those tools because they are tools to learn about the astral world, that you just like keep using them, but for calm down that anxiety, you know. And they shouldn't be used like that, because at the end you're just gonna keep, I'm just gonna put it this way, you're gonna become so materialistic about it that it's like you just wanna be like, oh, let me carry this crystal 24/7, and now it's like, oh, I need more crystals like around my house and this and that, and you start becoming so materialistic because of that anxiety that you think one crystal is not enough, right? Like, you don't understand the energy, right, of the crystals, and you have so many now. Like, your outside world reflects a lack of that you don't understand in a way, if that makes sense. I'm not saying like it's bad to have many crystals, it's not, but I'm saying if you just dig into that world and never look at any other stuff, like you just there thinking that, okay, I own all these crystals, now I'm like illuminated, right? Like I am a goddess. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Energy works different. So those are the main points. Again, I think it's very important to walk with a lot of discernment when you are on this path of just gaining more spiritual knowledge. Because again, if you have a good habit, a good virtue, you know, if you keep eating healthy, doing that stuff, like your body eventually asks you for it, you know. Like, you want that because you are so used to the good stuff now that you don't like vibrate, or you don't align anymore with your old self, you know. Like, it's the same way, like when you're coming out of the dark night of the soul, is like all those bad habits that took you to that road, you no longer want to give them that energy. You're putting that energy towards the new you, and it's costing, and it's like, how to say costing, but it's like energy. It takes a little bit of energy, you know, to put it in motion. But once you're there, it's even harder to go back to those, because your new self, like your new body, is already used to that new version of you. So like going back is a little bit harder, you know what I mean? So I hope you guys liked this video and took some information about it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.